Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching The Big Picture with me, Frank Rausen Pereira. After an action-packed day of changing numbers, the picture in Maharashtra is clear. The BJP and Shiv Sena combined is well past the halfway mark, and the incumbent Devendra Fadnavis has led the NDA back to a majority. The performance of the BJP has not turned out like how many of the exit polls have predicted. Caste equations have not trumped good governance, but have had a major role to play in the election. On the other hand, the NCP has performed better than expected, and Sharad Pawar's party led the opposition race, thereby relegating the Congress to the fourth position. On this edition of The Big Picture, we will analyze the results of the elections in Maharashtra. Joining me on the program today are Professor Sunil K. Chaudhary, political analyst, Praful Ketkar, editor, The Organizer, and Ashok Tandon, senior journalist. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. Praful Ketkar, let me start the program with you. Let's first try and analyze and try and understand and put into perspective the numbers of today as far as Maharashtra is concerned. What was the biggest takeaway for you?
See, there are 2-3 clear indications of these results. One is, the BJP, Shiv Sena, though they have made a comeback as far as government formation is concerned. The management of alliance or the kind of seat sharing that has that took place, I think perhaps they found it very difficult after fighting independently and then coming together at assembly level. They found it difficult to manage that alliance level, electoral management. Secondly, though Devendra Fadnavis has emerged as a bigger acceptable face, this election definitely went for Mr. Sharad Pawar, who was actually fought a lone battle, so to say, from the opposition side. But the third point is, and you rightly mentioned in your introductory remarks, that perhaps though BJP has been claiming that they have somehow come out, they tried to come out Indian polity out of this caste-ridden thing. Both Maharashtra and Haryana elections clearly show that the caste, and especially the dominant caste politics, that has some stay in Indian politics even today, and BJP will have to find some other ways to manage this critical issue of Indian politics.
Absolutely. All right. Sunil Chaudhary, how would you look at the results of today? As far as if you look back at the previous election, that is the Lok Sabha election, it was a whitewash for the BJP in Maharashtra. The BJP did very, very well. BJP and the Shiv Sena, of course, did very, very well in Maharashtra as a whole. But, as far as this particular election is concerned, even the exit polls predicted that the BJP or the NDA would cross the 200 mark, but they have not been able to do that. Were there some issues on the ground, or do you believe it was some other factor?
I think the first important factor is that it's very heartening that both BJP Shiv Sena alliance is going to form the government again, and the biggest challenge for these two alliance partners is that their focus should be more on governance and substantial concrete governance. And secondly, I think this important part of this new changing Indian political scenario is that for past few years in different parts of the country, the opposition was very, very weak. I think this winning of significant number of seats both by Congress and NCP shows that now there is a credible opposition which basically keep the path of governance both for the ruling parties. And third, which is to be seen, is that the others, that is the number of either independent or regional parties which have emerged, and they have got important number of seats in different parts of Maharashtra, that has to be reckoned, and how their emergence and their different issues which they are proposing to the voter. For instance, like if you talk about some important segments of Maharashtra politics, where the role of Prakash Ambedkar's political party, or Ovaissi's political party, and some other political parties, fringe political parties which come out from the mainstream political parties and the independents, because I still believe that in ticket distribution parties may falter. So I think this kind of breakaway groups or individuals, they might have contested as independent candidate. We'll have to just find out whether the others basically come from these independents, the dissidents, or the regional political parties, and how they are going to play important role in Maharashtra politics in the days to come.
Absolutely. Talking about a credible opposition, Mr. Tandon, I'd like to bring you in here. We've seen a change of guard as far as the grand old party is concerned. We've seen the imprint of Sonia Gandhi in this particular election. Is this a major defeat as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned? Because we've seen the old guard come back and some kind of a respectable performance being put up by the Congress.
Two things I would like to point out. First is that once again, it has been established by the Indian electorate that the Lok Sabha elections are different from the assembly election. This we have seen in the context of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and then soon after that, when the Lok Sabha election comes, results were totally different. And here now in Haryana, we have seen the BJP, which won 12 seats in Lok Sabha, swept the election, and now the results are different. So that means the Indian electorate are so enlightened that they know the difference between a Lok Sabha election and the assembly election. That is one thing which has been established, and I think is a sign of maturity as far as Indian electorate are concerned. And the second thing which we have noticed once and again number of times is that the less poll percentage, in this case it's about 20% less than the Lok Sabha poll, both in Maharashtra as well as in Haryana. So that means the election campaign, if it is run by the local leaders, and then in the Lok Sabha election when it is run by the national leaders, there is a lot of difference in generating that kind of enthusiasm, like in 2019 Lok Sabha poll, the kind of enthusiasm and, if I may use the word, euphoria which Prime Minister Narendra Modi could produce, resulting in 70% plus poll percentage, and could not be generated in the state assembly election, whether it is Maharashtra or Haryana this time. And so less percentage, polling percentage also is always different. Poll percentage is always different between the Lok Sabha and the assembly election. Now coming back to the Congress, the question which you have raised is, see, it is, I would say it's something for the Congress to introspect, that how could that their regional satraps, whether it was Punjab or whether it was Kamal Nath in Madhya Pradesh or Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan, now Huda in Haryana, they are actually a better poll managers than the central leadership of the Congress party, and the kind of leadership which we are trying to project in the Congress for future under Rahul Gandhi's leadership and his own people in all these states, they have failed to generate any kind of enthusiasm among the younger generation. So whether it's a failure of Rahul's leadership and his, if I may use the word, coterie, because this time again Ashok Tanwar, who was Rahul's protege, he was unhappy and he left the Congress, campaigned against the Congress. In spite of that, Congress has done well. Surjit Singh Surjewala, Randeep Singh Surjewala, and another protege of Rahul Gandhi who lost the Jind by election earlier, and now he has lost Kaithal election. That means, and similarly his people in other states also, they have not been able to perform. Not only that, they have in fact failed to create that kind of an atmosphere which could at least revive the Congress. So ultimately, in spite of Rahul saying that the next president will not be from Nehru Gandhi family, the leadership had again to be given to Sonia Gandhi. And who is relying on whom? People like Ahmed Patel, Ghulam Nabi Azad, and the regional stronghold.
Right.
This time again it was a big choice, difficult choice for Congress as far as Haryana is concerned. Eventually she put faith in Huda, rather Huda in a way hoodwinked that, and the results are there. So it's I think the biggest takeaway from this election as far as Congress is concerned is which way the Congress leadership is going, the kind of future leadership Congress wants. If the Rahul's leadership, and not only his own leadership in Delhi but in the states also, if they are failing, then what is the future of the Congress? So that is, either the Congress should decentralize itself, it's a decentralization of power, let regional leaders emerge and deliver so that Congress can survive.
Sure.
If you try to centralize the entire leadership within the hands of people sitting in Delhi, and that also who have rather proved unsuccessful. So I think this is a major issue, and because elections will be coming in another 2 states in a couple of months, and therefore I personally feel Congress will have to take a call now which way the Congress leadership wants the party to be rebuilt in the future, whether you want to control the party irrespective of success and defeat, or you revive the Congress, leaving it to the regional leaders.
Sure. All right. All right. Taking the discussion forward now, and we've seen the emergence of the Thackeray scion as well. He's arrived on the scene, Praful Ketkar. Is he going to demand his pound of flesh going forward now that the Shiv Sena has done well?
I don't know, yes, Shiv Sena will try to play this card, not because Shiv Sena has done well. Means if you go by numbers, Shiv Sena, frankly speaking, has come down in tally, definitely in terms of vote percentage also. What Shiv Sena did was, actually fighting 124 seats. So, actually, thanks to BJP, it has got some kind of presence in Vidarbha region. So, I don't think, but yes, there will be posturing. There will be tough negotiation as far as the portfolios are concerned. As far as 50-50 thing is concerned, I don't think Shiv Sena will definitely start with that. But they know very well, now Shiv Sena seems to be in an acceptance mode that it is not the same Shiv Sena of 1995, and this is not the same BJP of 1990s. So, they are dealing with different BJP now, and I think Aditya Thackeray is much more, many times we go by the, the rhetorics created by either people like Sanjay Raut or editorials written in Samna. But they are more for the posturing and catering to the sentiments of the cadre. Aditya Thackeray, taking this clue forward or learning something which he maturely said when somebody asked him about Sharad Pawar and his campaigning, he said he's a old friend of my grandfather, and I don't think I have any right to comment on him or criticize him. That shows that he knows where to say what, and there, if he understands the importance and learning lessons from that generation of how to build, how to energize entire organization, I think he will not be in a hurry. Age is on his side. Someday he certainly would like to be Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And in fact, when Uddhav Thackeray said that he has promised his father that someday Shiv Sainik will be Chief Minister of Maharashtra, indirectly hinted towards Aditya Thackeray, and he coming in the poll fray has definitely energized the organization in the Mumbai Thane region. But I personally feel that Aditya Thackeray will not be in hurry. Though there will be posturing, though there will be pressure tactics to get maximum out of this situation, not because Shiv Sena has done well, but because BJP on its own has not done that well.
Correct.
That is primarily a reason. But Shiv Sena knows very well whatever it has done, it is somewhere Narendra Devendra chemistry has contributed to that. So I don't think Shiv Sena can afford to just play around as many. Some people are speculating that Shiv Sena has now got an option of going with Congress and NCP and forming the government. That option was there even in 2014. But Shiv Sena knows very well its core will not gel with that kind of chemistry. So I think Aditya Thackeray, I personally feel that will play a more wait and watch game rather than going in huddle.
All right, all right. So, Sunil Chaudhary, as far as the next government is concerned, what is the biggest challenge going forward, and what is it that they are likely to take up on priority in the state of Maharashtra?
I think the reason for both BJP and Shiv Sena not getting as per their expectations, because see that number of seats which BJP got last time, 122, and Shiv Sena say 63 seats. So that the number has really gone down.
Come down, yes.
So from that perspective, see that like both are in a position to form the government, but the crucial challenge, which I think the number of seats coming down for both of them, could be economic fallout. So I think the economic factors, or specifically jobs, employment, the industrial setups, entrepreneurship, startup in Maharashtra, I think these are the very critical issues for both the political parties to handle and address it, so that this governance could be taken to the grassroots politics as well. As far as the Shiv Sena is concerned, I think the second generation of the Thackeray family, second will never like to become secondary. So from that perspective, I think the young Thackeray has actually to, because now it seems to be an imposition from above. Now he has to work at the grassroots level, so that his acceptance among all those Shiv Sainiks and cadres becomes more pronounced in the days to come, and his acceptance becomes so important that he automatically gets integrated to the entire realm of governance. So I believe that both these political parties, I don't think that there should be any problems in terms of formation of governments. Yes, in terms of distribution of allocation of portfolios, yes, there could be not bargaining, but there could be mutual adjustments and accommodation. And both these parties could take it in a very positive manner, because now a strong message has to be sent to the people of Maharashtra, its voters, that the mandate which they have got to run the government of the second consecutive time is that now they have to actually deliver. It should not be populism but governance.
Right. And Mr. Tandon, I would like to draw your attention. We've spoken about the Shiv Sena, the Congress and the BJP, of course, to the other party run by the grand old man of Maharashtra politics, Mr. Sharad Pawar in the NCP. He has done better than expected. Of course, he played the sentiment card. That seems to have worked for him as far as the electorate is concerned. But not having won the election, where does this leave the NCP and where does this leave Sharad Pawar?
Well, if you look at the pre-election scenario in Maharashtra, there were calls and talks of let NCP merge with the Congress, as if it has lost its relevance. But Sharad Pawar has once again proved that he is still relevant not only in the Maharashtra politics, but as I said, in national level politics also. Now, so far, NCP has always played a junior player to Congress in Maharashtra. Now, for the first time, it is NCP which will be playing the big brother role. And through that, he has demonstrated to the Congress leadership, both in Delhi as well as in Maharashtra, that you cannot write off Sharad Pawar. One factor which has weighed very heavily in his favor is that the Maratha community still believes that Sharad Pawar is the Maratha leader, irrespective of the fact whether Devendra Fadnavis government has given them reservation or not. So Sharad Pawar has proved what his worth is in today's politics. So I think that is one, but I will like to come back to the running of the government in Maharashtra and to a great extent in Haryana also. See, in the 2014 election onward, when the Devendra Fadnavis government was in office, BJP had absolute majority on its own, but now today there is a hint from
They had 122 out of 288.
Yeah,
so
but they were very close to that, in the sense that Shiv Sena could not bargain or even show tantrums. But now things may be slightly different, and the hint has already come from Uddhav Thackre's press conference that we would like to play a more responsible role that shows that they want to have a good share in the running of the government. So I think this time round, the coalition in Maharashtra, running of the coalition may not be that smooth, because Shiv Sena, as was being told, that they will not forget, and they haven't forgotten, that they used to be the senior player in the Maharashtra coalition politics. And in 2014, suddenly BJP turned around and became the senior partner. So now they continue to be junior partner, but with a better bargaining power. So I have a feeling that they may be throwing their tantrums from the day one in formation of the government and running of the government and all that. So, this running of the Maharashtra coalition may not be smooth as it has been in the last 5 years. Similarly, in Haryana, since BJP is stuck at 40, and even if they manage to form a government through an alliance or some support from outside, it may not be an easy task for the Manohar Lal Khattar government if he is installed as the chief minister. So, in both the states, the BJP will be facing challenges in the running of the government.
Right.
So, when it comes to policies, so again, I think the coalition dharma, if the two sides really observe, only then there can be a smooth sailing, and then they can also plan policies and program. But initially, I think in both Haryana as well as in Maharashtra, BJP may not find it easy to run the government or as smoothly as they have been running the last 5 years.
5 years. Okay, all right. Time now to get closing comments from all my guests. Looking forward, of course, we'd like to see what the message is for the elections to come, and what does it mean for national politics. Starting first with you, Praful Ketkar.
I think this election has thrown a message to each and every party. The first message is whoever is ready to work on the ground, connect with the people, he is going to get the thumbs up from the voters. More importantly, just the switching over sides and the getting some prominent faces from other side in your party cannot ensure you the win, and therefore you have to invest in organization building. The Karyakartas matter, the workers and their sentiments matter, and each and every party will have to invest in some kind of organization building on their own ideological positions. That is a clear-cut message for each and every party. This is not a vote in favor of somebody. This is also not a voter, because the kind of anti-incumbency we have seen against the sitting MLAs, especially in Haryana, not just in Haryana, even in Maharashtra, many sitting MLAs have lost, many ministers have lost, many important political personalities have faced the almost a kind of tough time in Maharashtra. That is clear-cut message. You can't rely always on Modi, on national phenomena, on some kind of magic wand that is going to come for you. Ultimately, you have to work on the ground with workers as per their sentiments, address the issues on the ground. That is a clear-cut message for all the parties.
Okay, all right. Sunil Chaudhary.
I think getting connected with the voters is the most important lesson which all political parties must learn. I think this election, both elections in Haryana and Maharashtra, reflect the salience of the voters, which some young social scientists have said, that is silent voters. Voters whose voice is decisive without being expressive. So I think political parties, whether national parties or state parties or independent candidates, if they get themselves connected with the voters and connected with their roots, I think they can deliver as per the expectation of the voters. And this kind of results, I think, would be reflected in electoral politics as well. And democracy, the success of India's democracy is that if you work, you can be paid back by the voters.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Tandon, close the show for us with your forward-looking message on what to expect in the near future.
First of all, these results may not have any impact on the national politics, even for the opposition parties, because the regional elections are totally different. So, in each state and each party will have to introspect, keeping in view the developments in that particular state, whether it is Haryana or Maharashtra. But one strong message is that how strong the national leader may be, like Narendra Modi, for your state elections or for your local election, the state unit and the state leadership will have to do their own homework. They will have to perform well. They just can't say, just because Modi is our leader, so we will sweep the election in Haryana or Maharashtra also. See, the Prime Minister or Narendra Modi or Amit Shah can do limited work as far as the state assembly elections are concerned. They can even campaign. Modi even said that Narendra and Devendra is a combination and all that. But electorate are very vigilant. They know, they are very enlightened. They know this time they are voting in for the state assembly election to elect a state government. So therefore, local leaders, local leadership, local issues, all now sometimes dominate the scene, and the narratives are different. and that has been reflected particularly in a state like Haryana, where in the 2019 election both the Huda father and son lost, and now they have come back and shown that they are still leaders in their own right as far as Haryana is concerned. So therefore, the message for all political parties is, please don't depend totally on your leadership, the charismatic leadership, whether it is BJP or any other. Where was Rahul Gandhi in this election? But still Congress has done well in Haryana. But you can't write off the old guards, coming back to that, and that applies to the NCP leader Sharad Pawar and as well as the Huda in Haryana. So the regional leadership has to take care of their own state. They have to perform and they have to continue to remain connected with the grassroots level leaders. You simply can't rely on the word high command as we use in politics.
Okay, all right then. So those were the takeaways and the messages really as far as the election results in Maharashtra are concerned. The bottom line being, assembly elections are very different to the general elections, so the political parties need to treat them differently and also concentrate and focus on not just the national issues but also on localized issues is what the panelists are suggesting. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of The Big Picture. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the program and putting things into perspective for us. That's it from me. See you again next time.